I am Reed. I am 27, just an average dude. I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. All right, so here's the thing I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially after talking to some of my buddies who are still in that same spot I was in a few years back. If there's one thing I have realized over the past couple years, especially as I have gotten more serious about building wealth, it is that playing it safe financially is one of the fastest ways to get stuck exactly where you are. And I get it, man, because I used to think the exact same way. I used to be the king of playing it safe, getting paid stashing cash in my checking account like it was doing me some huge favor sitting there looking pretty. I would watch that number go up every month and I would feel so good about myself. I felt secure. I felt responsible. I felt like I was doing adulting, right? But here's what I didn't realize back then. I was winning the wrong game. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was being careful and cautious and all those things our parents told us to be. But really, I was just scared. Scared of making a mistake, scared of losing money, scared of looking stupid. And that fear cost me years of progress that I will never get back. Let me take you back to when I was like 20 years old. I was working a job making decent money for a kid my age. Nothing crazy, but solid. And every paycheck, I would immediately move most of it into my savings account like it was my job. I would check that balance multiple times a week just to feel that little hit of security. Oh, look, it went up another $200. Good job, Reed. You are doing great. But here's what I was ignoring. That money was doing absolutely nothing for me. Zero zilch nada. It was just sitting there losing value every single day because inflation is a silent thief that does not care about your feelings. And I knew nothing about investing back then. I thought the stock market was basically gambling. I thought rich people were just lucky or born into it. I thought building wealth was something that happened to other people, not someone like me who grew up in a regular household with no safety net and no financial education. So I just kept stacking cash, kept playing it safe, kept telling myself I was being responsible. And honestly, that was my mentality from like 18 all the way to 22 years old, almost 23, 5 years, man. 5 years of my prime earning and learning years where I could have been building something real. And then I hit a point where I realized something was off. I had saved up a decent amount of cash, but I looked around at my life and nothing had really changed. I was still living paycheck to paycheck in a lot of ways because I was afraid to spend money on anything that mattered. I was still in the same job. I still had the same stress about money. I still felt like I was one bad month away from everything falling apart. And that is when it hit me. Playing it safe was not actually making me feel safe. It was making me feel stuck because I was playing the game trying not to lose instead of playing offense. I was so focused on protecting what I had that I never stopped to ask myself, what could I be building? And while I was sitting there being careful, other people my age were out there taking calculated risks. They were investing in the market even when it was scary. They were starting side hustles even when it was uncomfortable. They were asking for raises and switching jobs and learning new skills and putting themselves in positions where their money could actually grow. And I was just sitting on the sidelines watching my savings account slowly get eaten alive by inflation. And here's the part that really changed my perspective with March Madness going on right now. I cannot think of a better way to explain this than a basketball game. Imagine your team is up by 10 points. You feel good, right? You have momentum, you are scoring, you are playing aggressive, you are attacking the basket, but then something happens, you get comfortable. You start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You slow down the offense, you take bad shots, you stop attacking, you start playing it safe. Meanwhile, the other team does not slow down at all. They keep pushing, they keep scoring, they keep attacking, and you watch your lead slowly disappear right in front of your eyes. That happened to so many teams last weekend, by the way. One team gets up big, gets comfortable, starts playing not to lose, and before you know it, the game is tied, and then they are down, and they panic, and they try to turn the intensity back on, but it is too late, because the other team already has all the momentum. That other team in real life is called inflation. It is called rising cost of living. It is called rent going up every year. It is called healthcare costs. It is called the price of groceries and gas and everything else that keeps creeping higher while your cash just sits there losing value. And the problem is that these forces never stop playing offense. They never stop the full court press against you. They never take a possession off. They are constantly working against you whether you realize it or not in the moment. So if you are sitting on the sidelines financially thinking you are being safe, what is actually happening is that you are falling behind one bucket at a time. Every day you wait is another possession you give up. Every month you hesitate is another run the other team goes on. And eventually you look up and the game is out of reach and you wonder where the time went. So in this video, I want to break down exactly how playing it safe might be holding you back, where it shows up in your day-to-day financial decisions, and most importantly, what you should be doing instead if you actually want to get ahead and stop feeling like you are running in place. All right, so the first way that playing it safe with your finances is holding you back is probably the most obvious one, but it is also the one I see people struggle with the most. It keeps you stuck in this constant state of hesitation where you are always waiting for the perfect time to finally start investing. And I am going to be real with you guys, that perfect time does not exist. It never has and it never will. There is always going to be some reason to wait, always something going on in your life, something in the news, a war in the Middle East, a recession looming, interest rates are too high. The market is too volatile, the election is coming up, the economy is uncertain, pick your excuse. There is always going to be something that makes you feel like now is not the right time to invest. And that waiting ends up costing you way more than ever making a small mistake would. Because the longer your money just sits in a bank account losing its purchasing power, the longer you are setting yourself up to stay trapped in that 9 to 5, whether you like it or not. The longer you are delaying your freedom, the longer you are delaying the life you actually want to live. And I like to bring this back to a real life example instead of just talking in theory. So let me use myself here. If I had sat on the sidelines and waited to invest during, let us say, the downturn from 2022 to 2023, I would have missed a huge chunk of growth that came immediately right after. And I remember that time vividly. Everyone was panicking. The news was doom and gloom every single day. Interest rates were going up. Tech stocks were getting crushed. People were saying the market was going to crash even further. Crypto was in the gutter. Everything looked terrible. And I will be honest with you, I was scared too. But I had already learned by then that the best time to buy is when everyone else is scared. So instead of waiting around trying to time everything perfectly, I put together a plan and started taking action. I set up automatic investments. I dollar cost averaged into the market every single week like clockwork. I did not try to catch the bottom. I did not try to outsmart anyone. I just stayed consistent. And you know what happened? The market came roaring back. And because I kept buying when things were down, I was able to accumulate shares at a discount. When the market recovered, those shares grew like crazy. And I am so glad I stayed the course during those years, because on the ride back up, I was able to make a lot of money in my investment accounts. Not by being smart, not by being lucky, but by simply showing up consistently and not letting fear control my decisions. Was I perfect? Not even close. Did I pick the best ETFs or stocks right out of the gate? Hell no. I made mistakes. I bought things that underperformed. I sold things too early sometimes, but I took action. I stayed consistent. And over time, that decision to stop waiting has turned into a portfolio that I am genuinely proud of. So if you are sitting there right now, stressing about what is going on in the world, hearing all the fear in the media and thinking maybe you should just wait a little longer, I challenge you to tune out the noise and focus on building a plan that actually works for you. Because taking imperfect action will always beat sitting on the sidelines waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. Always imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Now, the second way where playing it safe financially shows up, and honestly where it hits the hardest, is in your day-to-day financial decisions. Because playing it safe is not usually one big dramatic mistake. It is a bunch of small, comfortable decisions that feel harmless in the moment, but add up over time in ways you do not even realize. This could look like keeping way too much cash just sitting in your checking account just in case instead of investing it. And do not confuse this with an emergency fund. I am talking about keeping excess amounts of cash well beyond what you actually need for emergencies. I see so many people with like 30, 40, 50 grand just sitting in a regular checking account, earning zero interest, doing nothing for them. And they feel safe because they have all that cash. But really what they have is a slowly sinking ship, because inflation is eating away at that purchasing power every single year. That $50,000 you have sitting in a checking account today will not be worth $50,000 in 10 years. It will be worth maybe $35,000 or $40,000 in real purchasing power. You are losing money and you do not even realize it. That is what playing it safe actually costs you. This could also look like contributing the bare minimum to your 401k because you do not want to see your paycheck drop. I get it, man. I used to think the same way. I would look at that percentage deduction from my paycheck and think, oh man, I need that money now. I cannot afford to save that much. But here's the truth. You cannot afford not to. Because every dollar you invest in your 20s has decades of compounding growth ahead of it. Every dollar you delay investing costs you way more than the dollar itself. The opportunity cost of waiting is massive, and it could even show up in things like not starting a side hustle or not learning a new skill because it feels easier just to stay in your routine. You tell yourself you are too busy, you are too tired. You will do it next month, and then next month turns into next year, and next year turns into 5 years later, and you are still in the exact same spot. None of these decisions feel like a big deal on their own, but when you stack them all together over years and years, they quietly limit your income, they quietly limit your growth, and they keep you in the exact same financial position 5 or 10 years down the road wondering what happened. And here's the tricky part. Playing it safe in these situations actually feels responsible. It feels like the right thing to do. You are going with the crowd. Everyone else is doing the same thing. Your friends are doing it. Your coworkers are doing it. Society tells you that being careful with money means keeping it in the bank, so it feels responsible to keep that cash safe. It feels responsible to contribute just enough to get the company match, but no more. It feels responsible to stay in your comfortable routine instead of taking risks. But what you are really choosing is short-term comfort over long-term progress. You are choosing a slightly bigger paycheck today over financial freedom tomorrow. You are choosing to feel good right now instead of setting yourself up to feel great later. And again, I am not saying go out and make reckless decisions or throw your money into random meme stocks or put it all on black and gamble it away. That is not what I am saying at all. What I am saying is that you need to find a middle ground between being reckless and being so safe that you never make any progress at all. And I want to be honest about something else too. Playing it safe financially is not just a strategy thing, it is a psychological thing too. For a lot of people, including myself, that fear is very real. If you did not grow up with much money like me, then finally having cash sitting in your account can bring a level of comfort and security that you have never had before. I remember the first time I had $5,000 saved up, I felt like a king, I felt unstoppable. I would check my account multiple times a day just to make sure it was still there, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is great to break those barriers and hit savings. Milestones you have never reached before, you should be proud of that. I was proud of that, but at a certain point you have to ask yourself if that comfort is actually holding you back. If all your money is just sitting there and you are too hesitant to put it to work because you are afraid of losing it, you could be doing yourself more harm than good in the long run. You have to learn to be comfortable with a little bit of discomfort because growth never happens inside your comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself just a little bit past what feels safe. So what should you be doing instead if you actually want to break free financially? It starts with shifting your mindset from trying not to lose to actively trying to win. Like I talked about earlier in the video with the basketball analogy, you have to get on offense. You have to stop playing defense all the time. You need to have a plan for your money every single month where a portion of it is consistently being invested or saved. Purposefully, save purposefully is the key there. That could be saving for a down payment on a house or building up your emergency fund or saving for a big purchase you know is coming, but it has to be used specifically. Your investing could look like putting money into low-cost ETFs or maxing out your retirement accounts or investing in learning a new skill that can increase your income. You have to get comfortable with the idea that your money should not just sit there looking pretty. It should always be doing something for you at all times. Think of your money as an employee that can go to work for you and earn you even more money while you sleep. That is the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Once I started seeing my money as a tool instead of just a number in my account, everything changed. And just as important, you need to start taking calculated risks in your life that actually move the needle. That could mean going after a higher paying job that scares you a little bit. It could mean asking for a raise even when your stomach is doing backflips. It could mean starting a side hustle even when you have no idea if it will work. It could mean learning a skill that can increase your income over time even when it feels hard at first. I have made videos about all these topics, by the way, so if you have not had a chance to check those out, I would definitely go watch them. But the point is this: you cannot build wealth by being passive. You cannot build wealth by playing it safe your whole life. You have to take action. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to fail sometimes, because failure is how you learn and grow and get better. Every successful person I know has failed way more times than they have succeeded, but they kept going, they kept taking action, they kept adjusting and learning and improving. At the end of the day, building wealth is not about playing defense your entire life. That is the mindset I want you to switch here after watching this video. It is about knowing when to protect what you have, but also having the awareness to go on offense when the opportunity is there. Especially for those of you in your 20s or 30s, you have so much time on your side. Time is literally your biggest asset, and if you use it wisely, it can compound into something truly life-changing. You are never going to feel 100% ready. You are never going to have perfect timing, and you are never going to eliminate all risk. That is just not how life works. But the people who actually get ahead are the ones who take action anyway, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite not having all the answers. Those are the people who adjust as they go, because failure is not the end of the road. It is just a detour. It is a lesson. It is a chance to come back stronger. You have to get up from that failure and just put your life into action. So if you take anything from this video, let it be this: stop waiting, stop playing small, stop letting fear make your decisions for you. Start putting your money into things that actually have the potential to change your life financially forever. Start taking those calculated risks. Start investing in yourself and your future. You owe it to yourself to at least try. So that is all I have for this video, guys. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the content and stayed all the way till the end. Let me know down in the comments how you are playing offense with your finances. Are you investing more? Are you starting a side hustle? Are you learning a new skill? I want to hear from you. And as always, peace.